Hello and welcome to my show, Conversation with Priya, and I'm your host, Priya Mishra. Today, my special guest is certified money coach and financial therapist, and she says that you should in love it with money. Brenda is a trained certified money coach, financial therapist, trauma of money facilitator, published author, and international speaker. She is passionate about creating innovative ways to teach both financial and emotional literacy. As the founder of Rewire, Brenda has actually developed numerous programs to help average to high net worth individuals living on paycheck to paycheck and people that are emotionally challenged around the money experience through peace, joy, and confidence to both their personal and financial views. So today I have invited to hear her view and why she called that you should be in love with money. Money is something to have peace with. So help me to welcome as our guest today, Brenda St Louis. Hello and welcome to my show, Brenda. Thank you for joining in today.
Oh, it's so great to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I'm really excited to connect and chat about what we do together.
Great, because I really enjoyed our last communication, and I really loved the concept you were bringing in, especially for money. I really loved it. So I thought, why not bring this story and spread the word to the people? And thank you for accepting my request on that day. So grateful for your time today.
My pleasure. I always like to talk about working with money. Money is one of my favorite things to talk about.
Yeah, and that brings to my attention, because I feel like majority of people thinks that talking about money is not a good thing, and you're changing completely different perspective on that way. Like thinking it's not that bad. It's like for very many people, it's like a really not conscious decision for people, right? They say, oh no, money is a problem, right? All problem starts with money and all those things, I love the concept. So we will hear more about how this whole thing started. But before that, I would like you to tell us how this whole journey started for you.
Well, I have been a therapist, a coach, and a facilitator for almost 27 years now. I can't believe that. And I have worked with people from all over the world. I've spoken on big stages talking about personal development and becoming the best version of yourself, right. Understanding how we lock ourselves up in our body and the pain that we create in our body. Yeah. I kind of got into that because when I was 14, I shattered my spine. And right. I had really chronic pain for probably about 17 years. So right. I was on this journey of healing. So it just became natural that I did this work in the world. But over the years of working with people would pay me money to help them, create more health, create more happiness, create different things, but they never really had a connection with their money. And right. I was like, there's something missing here. People will go in debt to pay for my course and right. never really create a relationship with their money. So I was like, there's something weird about this. And honestly, myself included, like I did the journey of making a lot of money and spending it just as fast. Right. It would come in and it would go out. And it was like, I didn't quite understand how do I get to have a relationship with money? And so it was there's so many pieces that got me into this, but the funniest one is I went to clown school. And right. I know they think, well, clown school and money, I don't know if that connects very well, but for me it did. Right. So it was this really intense clown school. And I studied how to be more present on the stage and how to be more magnetic on the stage. And in that process, we do all these different therapeutic processes. And one of them came up where you have this mask and you have to make this mask out of clay, and then you put paper mache on it, you paint it, you wear it, and then you dress it, and then that becomes
Right.
one of your clowns, basically. And in the process of that, I got this, I would say, basically a download that I'm here to work with the consciousness of money so that it's a way that we can create connection with each other. And I was like, how do I do that? I don't know how to do that myself. So that was the beginning of the journey of trying to figure it out. So I would take 10 books out of a week out of the library. I read everything I could get my hands on. I took all the courses I could imagine that were out there that dealt with our relationship, our emotional or energetic relationship with money.
Right.
There's not that many of them. And then courses on really financial literacy. Like I became a CFP, and I, a certified financial planner. I studied all the finance stuff and everything. And then I got really clear that you can study the money, you can study the emotions, but rarely do we do the two together.
Yeah.
So I decided I'm going to create a way for people to deepen in their relationship with money. And that could bring up trauma. It could bring up family, ancestral inheritance. It can bring up all of this psychological, emotional, and physical stuff that happen around money. And then marry that with practicing good financial practices. So I have two hats. I have the hat, I'm the financial therapist, and I have the hat, I'm the money coach. They don't happen at the same time. I jump back and forth. But so that has been interesting. And when we first started talking and you said, most people don't like to talk about money. And I said, I love to talk about money. But it's kind of funny because I like to talk about money when you are in the picture, not about how do I make more money or how do you budget or how do you do all of that kind of stuff, or the numbers thing, the number figuring out spreadsheet, Excel sheet, even though I do enjoy that to some extent.
Yeah.
I like to talk about how does it make you feel? When do you, we hide, like it's secret, it's taboo. No one shares it because they don't want to get judged or they judge themselves. And it made my objective is I just want to take money out of the closet and let's just look at it.
Yeah. And I'm sure it is very, very interesting aspect. Not many people think on that angle, either some people actually love money and they love money too much, right? And they get overwhelmed and they get carried away with that. Or some people just don't talk about it so that people will not think bad about them. Whereas for me, talking about anything is not bad as long as it's not being misused. For me, money does matter when it comes to certain aspect of your life and your growth, and because you can't buy without anything without money. But when it comes to not buying something like emotion, then you need to also have that emotional understanding. You cannot just say, oh, I'll give you money and that will make you happy. It might make you happy in certain circumstances. Like if somebody is actually seeking say, for example, my sister wants to do a course and she needs money to do that course because she doesn't have that, then yes, that might give her a temporary happiness on that,
And it's interesting too, because that we can even go deeper on that, right? So say you have the money and you can buy this course for your sister, and it will maybe give her a degree or give her like some skill to do other things or just make her feel good. If she can't receive it, then it goes even deeper. Like if she feels like now I'm obliged to give back, or I can't receive this, it's too much, or there's so many levels to how we gift money and how we receive money. And sometimes someone will gift money to someone and there's strings attached. It means, well, I gave you that, you have to take care of my kids, or you have to do this. So it's a really relational thing.
I mean, not many people put the string attached. Like for me, I always believe in giving the blind donation. Like I don't want my name to be there. Of course, when somebody reach out to you, whether it's your sister, brother, or friend, and you help them, of course, they will know where the money is coming from. At the same time, I never ask back or, tell them that,
Well, that's good. So it's freely given.
It's freely given, and I never expect. So for me, but not many of my, people I know will work like that. They always think that it's not right. But at the same time, when you go and give the money to homeless people, do you attach this string? Do you set an expectation that they will give you back sometime, or you do any charity? Do you expect that? So why not charity starts from home when it is needed, So that's my aspect. But at the same time, sometimes I believe if I have helped that some person and, the person is actually returning back and then again, I would like to evaluate whether I'm creating a bad habit.
And it's really about asking those questions and being curious.
Yes.
Being curious about, is there something kind of wonky here? Is there something a little off? Or, do I have unconscious motivations around this? And often we don't look at those things, right? We don't examine it.
No. And that's where people are very worried about it. If you look at people worry on that, I don't know if I'll give that am I making supporting, or am I creating a bad habit? Or it's also based on the two party as well, So it's a lot of deeper, as you said, it's a lot of deeper analysis needs to be done when it comes to the money. But I would like to actually understand, what it's like to work with Brenda.
Well, I work with clients in lots of different ways, and it depends on where you are. But my favorite way of working with someone is immersively, where we are really diving deep and we're breaking habits. And all of my programs are called Rewire. So that my top program is Rewire Your Wealth. And so it's really about going into the subconscious programming that we all have, because we live in this marketing world. We live in all the stuff that we gather from our family and the right way or the wrong way of doing stuff. So it's really about rewiring some of the programming so that you can experience 3 very powerful, healthy ways of being with money. And I call them the 3 pillars to a healthy relationship. And the first one is peace. And peace is about feeling like you have abundance, that you have more than enough, that you feel taken care of. You don't have that scarcity, and you trust that things are going to be okay. The universe has your back. Your people have your back. You have your back. It's like that feeling of security and safety. And when you experience peace with money, even if all of your money goes away, the peace will not go away if you've truly done the work. And the second piece is competence. And that's like financial literacy, understanding it. Someone's going to throw money talk at you. You're not going to fog out and go, I don't know what you're talking about. You can negotiate your wage. You can, if someone's taking advantage of you financially, it, and you say, no way. So you have the confidence to really lead. You know how to invest. You know how to vet the people that you want to hire. So there's this real savvy with your money. And that's really important. So even with that, if you lose all your money, if you have confidence, you can create it again, right? Like it's just a resource that you will always have. Right. And then the third one is joy. And joy is loving the fabrics on your body and the food you eat, the things around you, really enjoying the 3D and the world that money has that can offer you the beauty of. And that might not be food or clothes. It could be, I love buying my groceries in a local farmer's market where all of my money goes to the local people. Or I like to buy fabrics that are not fast fashion, that they're just going to go into the landfill. I like to be conscious about what I consume. So joy is really broad, right? It's really, there's a huge interaction with joy. There's an integrity in it. So when you have peace, confidence, and joy with your money, nothing can shake you. And so this is what we do when I work with people, and I do it through mindset, hypnotherapy. We do all kinds of work with our, our triggers and our trauma and stuff like that, if there is any. The second piece, there's 4 elements to it. The second piece is financial literacy. So it's making sure you get it, you understand it, right?
Yeah.
So I partnered with one of the top financial literacy schools in North America. It works with all other countries, but mostly a North American model.
Yeah.
And we can go deeper into the little pieces that most people aren't taught in school about financial literacy. And then the third element is me and my coaches, we go into people's finances and we build an ecosystem. I call it a money ecosystem, where it almost can run on its own, as automatic as it can, but it's supporting your dreams, your life, you're investing, you're growing your wealth, and it's just fluid. It changes and shifts. It's not like this strict budget, but it's a place where everything is taken care of, and you can just relax and go, oh, okay, I got this. And then the last piece is community and accountability. So most of this course that I do is we do it in a group. We do at least once a week, we meet as a group, and we do one-on-one work as well. But once a week we meet as a group. It's a cohort between 4 and 10 people who are going through the process, and they're exploring and deepening their work together. Because I feel like we got to take it out of the closet. It's not supposed to be so secret and hidden. And that 12-week course is, I call it Rewire Your Wealth. It's packed with support. You're held all the way through. It's an amazing container for both therapeutic, financial literacy, money coaching. You learn how to invest. You learn how to position your money. And I'm not selling you a product, right? So I think a lot of times when you go into the financial industry world, you might get some of these elements from a financial advisor, but they are making money off of you by selling a product, and they may not be selling the right thing for you.
Yeah.
So it's hard to know.
Yeah, it is. It is. And when it comes to the money, there are so many people don't have the confidence so they don't know what they are buying actually. So they think, oh, you are guru, you will be guiding me right way. But, it turned out maybe not the right thing. Was watching the Wayne Dyer's, story. And Wayne Dyer says that there was a point of time he just walked away with everything, and then he rebuilt it. Then again, he walked away and he, rebuilt it again. So it was very, very interesting aspect of hearing him and, multiple times how people can rebuild it. So there is a possibility people have done in the past,
for sure. Never too late.
Never too late. But majority of people also, when they come with less money, it's okay when people have the real wealth, right? Or they come inherit something, or they build it and they become millionaires. And there are a lot of millionaires, but popping up these days, I would say, there are a lot of single people are, self-made people are coming out these days. So there are still some people who don't have money, or if they have money, they don't have that mindset. And what I like when you were talking about mindset, because it's not having money, it's not about that. It's not, you don't have money. It's sometimes if you have little money, how to make use of it, right? Or if you have a lot of money, then how to deal with it, So both side is an extreme side, and both side is an overwhelming situation. So I guess my question is that how do you help for people who have less money, or, and they're still dreaming?
Well, it's interesting because I had to make this choice when I first started doing this work. There are a lot of people out there that are really helping people have abundance mindset and, to expand their wealth and how to start your own business, how to make money, and all of that stuff. There are so many things out there that are like that. That's not what I do,
Right.
And a lot of times if you're not making a certain amount of money, and it doesn't mean a lot, but if you're super under earning and you're just trying to make ends meet, it's hard to do this work the way I do it. right? We'd have to do the more beginning, do some archetype work, maybe some inner work, but it's hard to merge managing your money and your mindset when you have no money, right? So it's really about, okay, we need to get you in a place where you're generating some wealth, some money in order to really create a system so that we can create a foundation, and there are so many amazing, amazing coaches out there that work with people that are under earning so that they can start making more money.
No, and that's an interesting understanding for people and understanding your niche as well, like where you want to focus. And that's why I ask you, not having money, like I know that you can't create a mindset if you don't have a money, but yes, you can.
Well, you
have less, yeah. So, you can, but then you have to build that to reach to a position. But then if you have a less money and lack of mindset, then we can you can help them to create that mindset and get in, love with money, I would say.
Well, it's actually recognizing, like, I have people that make a lot of money that feel like they make no money, right? I have people that make very little money that feel like they they're really doing well off. So a mindset is not what's in the bank. It's in what's in the head, really.
That's so true. That's so true.
Oh, you just muted.
My next question is that, if we are, I saw on your website, you talk about the orphan, the innocent, the fool, the artist, what's that about? Like, what people think, what you want to convey through that?
So I have 9 money archetypes that I work with, and many of us have about 3 of them that are operating on and off throughout our life.
Right.
And it's a really good window to see what your operating system is and how you're being with money. What are the challenges and what are the gifts in it? And into working towards becoming the 3 really powerful archetypes, which are the wizard, the warrior, and the wise elder. Those are the 3 trifecta that hold up the 3 pillars of a healthy relationship with money, which is peace, confidence, and joy. But we have these other 6 that kind of play havoc. Like some of them are the fool. That's that impulsive spender that just has retail therapy and takes to take risks and generally not responsible. And then there could be the tyrant, where that's the hoarder, where they like collect all the receipts. They're writing everything down on an Excel sheet, and there's a lot of scarcity, not enough, but they generally are millionaires, but they don't want to show anyone. So they hide it. So that tyrant energy. You could have the artist. That's kind of like, money is the root of all evil, like anything about money is evil, bad, and dirty. Right.
Yeah.
So can you see people in your life that might resemble that?
All 3 of them I've seen. Yeah.
And then you have the caregiver who likes to just take care of everyone and just gives money to everyone that's in need. And they don't ever take care of themselves, but they're taking care of everyone, like the Mother Teresa's kind of thing. Yeah. Then you have the orphan, which is the one that is kind of like, they're a bit victimized or martyry, that they blame everyone else for the problem and they don't actually take responsibility.
Right.
And then the innocent is the one that wants to keep their head in the sand and don't want to look anything. I'm terrible with numbers. I'm no good with this, so like we all have different parts of them in us.
Yeah. And I always believe it comes to when you are thinking about those things, you see around you those kind of people, you meet day to day, all those people. And, I know you can't help everybody, but if we can change a little bit, I call it, we can become a droplet on that sense, so that will change at least some perspective, and, the people can live more harmoniously, I believe,
Well, I think we have to be compassionate because money's complicated and we judge people. We judge people that are cheap. We judge people that are irresponsible. We judge people that are like naive or victim. Like we have so much judgment about how people are with their money, and it's so damaging. So that's what the archetypes do, is give us a window to go, maybe there's a reason that is the way they are because they're coping with whatever they were dealt with, and they're kind of doing the best they can.
Yeah, yeah. And, you can't change the world, but you can change yourself. But, like all that scarcity and all that comes, that how people are going to judge me, right? The social anxiety, I should call it, right? But you cannot avoid society and you cannot change their mindset. But yeah, you can actually reform yourself and build your consciousness, your mindset, yourself, where you want to see yourself, how you want to project yourself. And, and that's where all this harmony starts, I believe. And once you become harmonious with this money concept, then everything will be just natural. Just let it flow. Like, I was watching one of a saint, and somebody was asking him question that, when I meditate, I hear all that, noises and I can't focus. And he said, and then what you do? And he said, oh, I try to get away with that. Like I said, go away, this thought, I want to think, I want to focus on here. And I loved his answer. He said that, you can, when you eat, and then whole digestion system starts, and then blood formation happens, the kidney works its own, other organs. Do you fight with them that do this and do that way, or not that way, or not this way? Do you ever fight with your other organs? If you're not, why are you fighting with your brain? Brain is just doing its own job.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Right? So let it flow. And once you stop fighting with that, then naturally you will be in that position, in that situation to go further on that, So loved good. That answer,
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful.
So every day is a learning, but interesting. So before you go, I would like to ask you last question. What would you like to say, your 2 cents for the people who wants to join your course, or if they don't want to join, how you're going to proceed with that?
So I always say to people that money is an inside job. And if you really want to have a healthy relationship with money, you got to look inward. And sometimes you can't do that alone. So if you need help and you feel like you want some support where you won't be judged and you'll be held with a lot of compassion, then I'd love to work with you. And you can just find me on my website, which is brendastlouis.com. If you're curious still and you're not quite sure, take the archetype quiz on my website and see what archetype you show up as. And that's a really good insight to see where you are with your money. And I have a ton of free things that you can explore to kind of dive a little deeper into your money story. And I do free insight calls for people that feel like they might be ready to take the leap. And you can book those on my website, and you'll get some high-end coaching basically for free from me if you qualify to be a part of the insight call. So it's a great way to dip your foot in and to get to know how I work, because we always move at the speed of trust, and not everyone connects with every coach. So you'll really want to see if you're aligned with the coach that you feel connected to, and if they can support you moving forward, because it is a courageous journey.
Yes, it is. It is. So you are offering try before you use it. So that's interesting. And so they can find your website, and on your website, you are active on social media and all as well.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and there's my website. Those are the 3 platforms, and LinkedIn, if you find me on LinkedIn.
That's interesting. So I'm definitely going to try that quiz for sure myself. But thank you so much for your time today, Brenda. I really appreciate. All your details will be given down in the description, so people will find it easy and they can just click and go. And I would suggest must explore, because there is nothing like this I have seen in my journey. And in my point of view, it is very important for you, and everybody has to have that relationship with money, because yes, money can't buy everything, but it is a very good facilitator for me. Thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you.